Hey there, Regina Andler here with Tips and Tricks Tuesday. I just wanted to spend a couple minutes talking about self care. Now, I know I've talked about self care in the past in many different forums. There's even a little self care checklist inside the Women Business Owners from Overwhelmed to Overjoyed files section right there in the group. And I just want to add that there's so much about self care and just how important self care is. Have you ever felt overwhelmed, anxious, frustrated, burnt out? Any of those feelings? And there's so many more that we could add to that list, right? Those feelings of the burned out, the overwhelmed, anxious, all of that stuff, depression, it all means that you are not giving yourself enough self care. Now, one thing is that, especially for women, you know, we're brought up to take care of everybody else. And so we oftentimes get kind of stuck in a pattern where we're taking care of everybody else except for us, except for ourselves, right? And so I just want to point out some tips and tricks because self care is the most important thing that you should be thinking about every single day. Why? Because if you're not doing well, everything around you is not going to do well. Remember, everything is energy, and all energy attracts like energy. When you're not doing well, you're going to attract more things that just kind of make it even worse. And you don't want to do that. And you don't want to burn yourself out to a point where you can't help anybody else. If you're not healthy, if you're not happy, if you're not grateful, if you're not feeling all of this good stuff, other people, number one, can sense that. They know when you're off, right? If you ever had one of your friends, just say to you one time or just go, wow, you know, you look okay, but is there something up? You don't look quite right today. I've had people say that to me as well because they know how I am and they know I might be having a down day or something. And so self care is so important, and you really, really, really should incorporate it into your everyday routine, right? Now, I've put that self-care checklist in the Facebook group, and there's some other things that you can do for self-care as well. There's lots of things on the list of self-care, and one of them is really as simple as and as hard as getting a good night's sleep. You know how some of us wake up 5 times a night or whatever. Getting a good night's sleep is critical to self-care. Your body is regenerating at night. Your body is repairing all of the stuff that's going on at nighttime while you're sleeping. So getting a good night's sleep to help your body and your mind reset is very, very important. So that's number one on my list for tips today is get more sleep. And hello, Facebook user. Nice to see you. And the next thing that I'm going to add that I haven't really added in any of my other self care lists to date is your gut health. Now, what do I mean by that? Your gut basically runs your body. So, what you put into your body, the things you eat, the things you drink, all of the environmentals around you, it all comes into your body, and your body is processing all that stuff. And everything that you eat is getting processed and going through your gut. And they talk about this all the time. You see commercials on TV for all of this gut health stuff. Why is it so important? Because that piece of your body is basically radiating out to everything else, all of the rest of your organs and everything. So be mindful of what you're eating. What are you putting in? Are you putting in a lot of processed foods, a lot of sugars, stuff that maybe you notice that after you eat it, you don't feel so good. You really like eating it because it tastes really good. And yet afterwards, you don't feel so good. Chances are pretty good there's something with that food that no matter how much you like it, your gut doesn't. And so it's basically telling you that by those feelings afterwards. Pay attention to your gut because it does make, a big difference in your body and your health. And that's one of those big self-care tips is taking care of you as far as what it is that you're eating. Good morning, another Facebook user. And the next one is to exercise. These are my real top 3. Get enough sleep, the gut health, watch what you're eating, pay attention to what you're putting into your body, and exercise, move around. Now, there's a couple other things that you always want to add. And again, the self care list can go on and on and on for a long time. I've got 6 for you today. And so, sleep, gut health, exercise. The next one is learn to say no. A lot of us have problems with saying no. Oh, hey, Madeline. And so, and I knew who you were because you said sitcom buddy. So learn to say no. We often get into this pattern of people ask us to do things or to get involved in things. And because we, you know, part of us really wants to, and the other part of us is going, not right now. This is not a good idea. We've got other things going on. And yet we still say yes. Learn how to say no and actually mean it. It doesn't offend people. People think that saying no offends people. It doesn't. We'll do a whole tips and tricks just on saying no because that one's an important one. That is tip number 4. Tip number 5 for today is get outside every single day. Go outside, get some fresh air. Doesn't matter where you are, if you're in the city, if you're in the country, wherever you are, just go outside and breathe. You know, all of this stuff that goes on, our environment, everything that's around us, all the work that we're doing, we can get bogged down in it. And I really recommend, take a break every hour. If you're at your desk for an extended period of time, get up and just stretch 5 minutes. It only takes 5 minutes. Go out, just look out the window, open up the screen if you can't go outside. Or, if you're in a big high rise building or something like that and you can't go outside, at least stop and go over to the window and just look out and around. And if you're in the city, you might want to look up and look at the sky instead of a whole bunch of, big buildings. Look at something that's going to help to ground you. That's the purpose of going outside for self-care is to get grounded and reground yourself and build that energy back. And my last tip for today for self-care is get organized. Now, I know some of us, and I used to be this way, we used to love the chaos on our desks. It was like a total mess. And if somebody walked up and said, "Wow, your desk is a mess. How do you find everything?" I would always say, "I know exactly where everything is." Here's the thing. I did. I knew where everything was. It was my organized mess, right? And the thing is, still the mess is still a mess. So while I knew where everything was, in my brain is looking at that going, this is so disorganized. This is chaos. This is crazy. So I learned that when I organize my desk and I clean the environment, you can see the back of my desk right there. It's empty. I only bring out what I'm working on when I'm working on it, and then that goes away and I bring the next thing out. Why do I do that? It's to keep the focus, to keep the clarity, and not get distracted by other things that are going on. Your environment is important. If you have a lot of clutter in your house, there's a lot of people going out and doing the whole minimalist movement right now. Yeah, organization. And the whole minimalist is all about that clearing. And when you clear there, you clear here as well. You know, clearing your environment clears your head, clears your body, it clears your focus. You gain so much clarity just by cleaning up your environment. So, those are my 6 self care tips for today. It's sleep, and then we have your gut health. Pay attention to what you're eating. What are you putting into your body and how is that working in your body? If you're feeling anything off, you might want to reconsider what you're putting in there. Third is exercise. The fourth is say no. Learn to say no. And then get outside and get organized. That's what I've got for you today. I hope you can put some of these into action. Make them part of your daily routine. Self care is part of your daily routine. Take care of you. There's only one of you, and we need you. We need you out here. We need you out there doing your thing. We need you out there sharing your message. And we want to keep you out here for a long time. So keep up on your self care and keep checking along. We'll see you later. Bye for now.